I'm a little late on this, but Apple announced new MacBook Pros. Of course, I watched the keynote and I was like, okay, dope. Apple has a new line of MacBooks. They have the M1 Pro and the M1 Max chip. Last year, they had the MacBook Pro M1 chip, which was a great system. I used the MacBook Pro M1 as a streaming computer. So I had the 2019 Intel i9 MacBook Pro, and I was running Ableton on that on the stream, and I would send the video output from the MacBook to the M1 MacBook Pro from 2020. So you would see the visual, basically everything I did on the 2019 over to the 2020 M1. And that would be what I'd run through eCam, or an OBS at the time, and that would be streaming to Twitch. This Apple keynote comes out, and I was like, okay, let's give this a try. Apparently, the M1 Max chips are way bigger and way more powerful than even the M1 chips, which were already powerful. The 2019 MacBook Pro Intel. I had the i9 spec'd out, 8 terabytes, everything. My biggest struggle with that thing was, number one, the fan noise. The fan noise was unbearable. I could get away with it sometimes on the stream because I did a bunch of extra stuff to make it sound better. I had it running through an eGPU, and then I had the eGPU sending video, and that helped it a little bit, but as soon as I'd load up Ableton, them fans would start spinning. Overall, the performance was pretty good in Ableton, but because the fans were loud, that wasn't good, and I would do things like use Turbo Boost, and that would make it quieter and more bearable. Essentially, it just wasn't the greatest. Another issue I was having in Ableton was a lot of graphics slowdowns, which I found out that's more to do with the plugins you have on a track. And then if you close and reopen Ableton, that seems to fix that. Long story short, I definitely was having some issues with the 2019, so I'm open to trying something new. I ended up buying the maxed out, max spec'd MacBook Pro. 2021 M1 Max 16-inch. So let me show you guys the specs. So this is the M1 Max specs that I got. I got the absolute maxed out model that you can possibly get. 64 gigs, 8 terabyte SSD, and the 16-inch. So that came out to $6,630, which was kind of insane. But I look at it, it's a tax write-off, it's for business, it's for developing drums, doing video work, doing all the stuff I do, and plus live streaming with multiple cameras. So I was hoping that I could accomplish getting a stream done just on this one computer. A stream for me consists of 1, 2, 3, 4 cameras right now, and I'm probably gonna add a 5th camera. Spoiler alert, this computer supports the entire stream. And on top of that, it is completely silent. Silent. It's amazing. It's so weird and surreal having a computer that doesn't make any fan noise when I have eCam running, I'm recording cameras, and when I have Ableton open. I can have Ableton open. Ableton is open right now. I don't have a big session open, but Ableton is open. Needless to say, I'm really happy. A program like eCam Live is fully native supported by MacBook M1. Ableton, as for the current public release, is not supported yet by M1. But you can load up Ableton on the new MacBook because there's software called Rosetta 2. As soon as you install it, you can load everything as if it was an Intel. Ableton does not perform as well as it would with M1 native in Rosetta, but it does work, so you can still open up your sessions. However, Ableton has a beta version, 11.1, that is fully compatible with the M1 Pro and M1 Max. I have been playing around with it, and overall, the performance is ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous how good it is. It is so good. Ableton runs amazing. I did a side-by-side comparison where I had Ableton running on my i9 MacBook Pro from 2019 and the same session on my current 2021 M1 Max. Guys, it's like double the performance. It is so good. There's a lot of videos on YouTube. I know the homie Eldre put out a video talking about the M1 Max and how many Omnispheres you can load up. Everyone is talking about it. I'm not gonna go in the in-depth tests because you could check out Eldre's video and other videos where they show it. But I just wanted to report back. This thing is insane. Now, great, it has more performance. That's great. What's so good to me is it has great performance with no noise. Right now, I am running eCam Live. I am running UAD Console. I'm running Ableton. I have my Notes app open. I have the Twitch chat open, and the fan is not running. The computer is hardly warm to the touch. Like when I touch by the mouse pad, it's warm, And when I touch the top, it's not extremely hot, but fairly hot. But the fans are not spinning up. All the USB Thunderbolt 3, Thunderbolt 4 ports are filled up, and I have 2 Thunderbolt 3 adapters hooked into the computer. I have 2 external monitors hooked up, and I'm using this as a third screen, and the computer fans are silent. Apple has absolutely killed it with this computer. I am so grateful for this thing. I think one of the questions is, do I need the Max or can I get by with the Pro? Because the Max is really expensive and the Pro is quite a bit cheaper, depending on your configuration. I don't know the answer to that, but from what I've seen, I've watched dozens of videos online about the computer to learn about it. And from what I've seen, this thing will run extremely well even on the entry-level M1 Pro model. So if you're just making beats in Ableton, you have like 30 tracks, maybe do an occasional video, maybe the Pro would be fine for you. If you're not doing like multi-camera live streaming setups, you'd probably be good with the Pro. If you're a Pro user and you need power, you know it. For me, I'm running 2 monitors, 4 cameras, Ableton, docks, all kinds of stuff. So I knew I needed the Max to do this kind of setup. But I could probably get by with the Pro. I don't know for sure. I haven't actually tested it. Check out some videos online. There's a lot of great videos on YouTube that really go into depth. But from what I've heard, you can get the Pro configured with 10 cores. And I think if you're just using Ableton, that's going to be good enough with the occasional video editing and that kind of thing. I think you're good with M1 Pro if you want to save some money. If you're running a pretty high-powered setup, I would recommend going with the Max. The difference between the Pro and the Max is you can configure the Pro and the Max with the same number of cores, but the GPU cores are the difference. So it has more GPU cores available in the M1 Max version. Just wanted to let you guys know, and for those of you who want to know what the FaceTime camera looks like, right now I'm recording with a nice DSLR, but this is the FaceTime camera. Not bad. It's actually not bad. As you can see, it's clean. This is the camera physically on the computer. And this is the DSLR. There's a big difference. The DSLR obviously has a several $100 lens. It was $1,000 or more for everything. And then this is the camera that comes with the MacBook Pro. Not bad at all. Seriously, not bad. What do you guys think? Do you guys think there's a big enough difference between this and this? Could I just stream with this? What do you think? It just kind of opens up the door because now I'm able to stream literally on one computer. I had 2 laptops. Setup was a little annoying with 2 laptops, but now with these new computers, Apple did it. I can silently stream. I can make beats. It's crazy. I love it. I'm grateful. I haven't been as excited about a piece of tech in a while. My 2019 laptop could absolutely not do this. It cannot do this. This computer can do it. Listen close, because I speak very highly of this computer, but here are the negatives. Right now, this ships with macOS Monterey, and that's a brand new OS. And as we know in the music world, it takes developers a while to catch up with the latest and greatest. I did run into some bugs and glitches, like Ableton was crashing a little more than I remember with my other computer. It wasn't because of CPU workload or anything. I don't know what it was. I haven't tested it enough to be able to definitively say what was causing the crash, but on the stream, I'm going to be cooking up and doing all that kind of stuff. So we're going to get to really see it hands-on and see where the bugs are and that kind of thing. And then there's stuff like UAD, if you use UAD. I don't know if it's fully compatible. I've gotten it to work, but I've seen a couple little bugs that make me think that there's still some optimization needed. Let's put it this way. Very powerful, very good system. Still early days, some bugs. If you're willing to be like a beta tester, I think that it's a good move. I ended up keeping my 2019 MacBook Pro and not selling it because if I'm in a pinch, I want to be able to load up all my plugins. And on this computer, I decided to go lightweight with the plugins and not install everything. That's my take on it. DECAP.